Today we're recording on Gadigal country.
And we'd like to pay our respects to the traditional custodians of the Gadigal people.
I know you're gonna dig this.
It's like I've been given like an extra sprinkle of something.
You got layers.
Yeah, I got layers.
I was just thinking, I'm like, we're just such beautiful storytellers.
You're making a lot of sense today, girl. No, I'm done.
Let's jump into it, honest to God.
All right. Comparison's the thief of joy. What you got for me?
So I was watching this video the other day.
Is that what they say, by the way?
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes, comparison culture. I remember you said this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But today we're going to do some comparisons because I feel like there was this video I was watching, right, about this girl and she's in a lesbian relationship. But so she's bisexual, I'm pretty sure, or I don't know. I don't know what her label is.
Full-blown lesbian.
She's a full-blown lesbian. But she was saying since dating her girlfriend, she's noticed all of these things in terms of the relationship that have blown her mind, I guess, in terms haven't irked her, the opposite of irked.
Okay. I love this.
A slays.
Okay.
And it was making me think about, I was like, oh yeah, I haven't had those experiences yet with Mia, but it makes sense. So I was trying to think about what is the comparison to dating a man to a woman and what are the things, right? And there's so many. Okay. But it's so much more in favor of women. Okay. Which is kind of good. Yeah. Kind of slow, but
I can understand why.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, you've dated a woman before.
Yeah. But I was really young, It was 17 to 18. I was in high school, last year of school, it was very much a first love, first love. But but we didn't have many experiences outside of the gates of our schools, other than me sneaking in the middle of the night and sleeping over. Ooh. A little bad boy. Yeah. But she was a bad girl too because she used to put out the chair. She used to take the glass out of the window. She used to legit take the glass out of her bedroom window at the school, put the chair outside.
Why is that so hood? I love it. Why is that
hood? Yeah.
Why is it giving ghetto?
Girl, it was. And she'd put a blanket over me and I'd walk through the boarding house looking, just because they had cameras, as if I was just a girl under there. But I was a boy with a big willy.
Oh my God, I hope my girls in my boarding house are not doing this. I swear to God.
I hope they are. It was the best time of my life.
I hope they're not.
I hope they are.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a rite of passage. Be a rebel.
No.
Live your life.
No.
If they're not doing it like that, then they're doing it the other way, which is girl on girl indoors. No need to bring the boy through the window.
Yeah. If I have kids ever, I want my girls or girls, as if I'm going to have more than one. Yeah. I don't know what I'll have, but I feel if when it comes to the sex chat, I just want it to be open. I'm look, I don't mind if you're having sex. Obviously not too young because come on, let's be honest.
Of course, you have to be over the age of consent.
Because I was a bit of a late bloomer. I didn't nearly have sex till I left high school.
Yeah.
I would have literally not had sex in high school if I didn't have a boyfriend. Yeah. But anyways, I was thinking about all these boyfriends that I had. And then now, I guess, and the girlfriends I had as well, in terms of what is the difference?
Yeah. Okay. I would love to hear from you. You have much more experience on both sides. Yeah. Dating men and women. What is the number one difference that you see?
I would say emotional intelligence is the key top one. I can talk to Mia for hours and I just have a feeling and I'm not a knowing she understands. Yeah. Where with a man, it honestly feels like you're talking to a different, in a different language. You're the fuck.
Really?
You're literally
flabba
dabba
flabba.
You're like, what?
Wow.
It literally feels like when you're telling a guy to do something or you're literally explaining something to them, they just can't process it in the way that a woman can.
Okay, so
sometimes it's not even even words. I could give Mia a look and she'll sometimes even just no, Yeah. It's crazy.
Wow, okay.
That's probably the top one. Yep. The second one for me is the level of hygiene levels increase dramatically. Like they're so much better. Like, and I have lived with clean guys.
Yeah. And we're talking about heterosexuals here.
Yeah.
Heterosexual men because like
what's it like for gay men? Like,
the hygiene is like top tier.
Yeah.
Like hygiene is everything for us. Like we got to be ready, girl. We are ready.com. And
like house ready or like
all of the above.
Okay.
Girl, the kitchen is clean, the oven is ready, and we are ready to cook. Trust me, all the time. If you don't,
literally ready to be,
you don't have to get ready if you stay ready. No, look, what I mean by that is that like gay men are different to heterosexual men. Okay. I'm sure. Like, I think my partner has like a 25-step skincare routine that he does basically every day. He will get me to come in and wash his back for him. You know, like he's hygienic.
Scrub-a-dub-dub.
Yeah.
Love that.
And this man walks around.
I don't think Mia's asked me to do that just yet.
Well, you'll get there probably. Yeah. He'll walk around the house naked and his body is clean, girl. Like, I think gay men are a different ball game. So let's talk about your experience with heterosexual men and then I can talk about gay men.
I mean, I think like there's so many layers to it, but if we're going to talk about hygiene specifically, like dating a man to dating a woman, like I think innately like a woman cleans up after herself. Mm-hmm. A man will just like put something like down and just like forget about it and just it will stay there until he's rethought about it. Like, but that will be like days later or weeks later. Do you know what I mean? Like with a woman, she's like, fuck, where did I put that something? Oh, there it is. Bang. And then she'll put it in the spot where it belongs.
Do you think all women are like that?
I think most women are. Like, I'm going to overgeneralize here and say that I think most women are tapped into that, like, clean up after yourself kind of, like, or, like, oh, God, like, they're just not not grubby.
Yeah.
I feel like they've just got that, like, you know when you open a bonnet of a car and it has, like, those little chip things? What do you call them? They're, like,
chips.
You know, like, like the little chips and you pull them out and you pull them back in.
Oh, you mean the oil tester?
No. In a car bonnet.
a gay is over here, doesn't know anything about it. Oh, by the way, when I had the car accident, I had no idea what to do. I had to call like a family friend and be like, what's the process? Like, I had no idea.
Okay, so like, you know when you open your car bonnet and there's these little, what I was calling chips before, but they're actually like fuses, right? Okay. And they're like little microchips that you have in your car and they do different things like electronically. That's how I see
Tell us what they do.
That's like, well, we as a person, we have an engine, as in like we are like motoring through life. And I think some people have those
Not the motoring through life.
And some people don't. Do you know what I mean? They have those fuses and they don't. But, you know, I feel like women have a lot of fuses. They've got a full thing of fuses.
Oh, okay.
And men
have
very little. So they're not wired correctly. You know what I mean? That was the connection I was trying to make.
Well, obviously you're wired correctly.
You fucking didn't even know what I was talking about.
No, I had no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah,
like,
fuses.
Fuses, okay.
Yeah, they're like... And
does that come into the saying you have a short fuse?
Probably.
Okay.
I feel like women have like different skills.
Yep.
And, you know, they were kind of like, not like always born with them. You just learn to, you know, maybe it's a childhood thing. I think not everyone is going to be the same. But like, I don't know. I think women are conditioned to, you know, from society, from TV to look a certain way. Yeah, exactly. It comes from the patriarchy. But I think with that, looking a certain way, being a certain way, upholding like beauty standards a certain way, I think women generally, this is just obviously just women presenting, and you know, I feel like maybe trans women maybe feel a different type of pressure, but I'm saying like women, I personally feel like that was like, well, I need to uphold and I need to be like, even when I was talking about me smelling, like I was like, oh, I don't smell correctly, so I need to fix it. So I need to be clean. Yep. So I need to wash. And like, you know, that you're taught those sort of things. Anyways, blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying like women, I think, have
blah, blah, blah.
this type of fuse that is like clean.
Okay.
So
and
we take care of
when
ourselves.
You've dated
hygiene
men,
is important to me.
Is it not the same?
Not always. There's very few men that really take pride in cleanliness and hygiene. Gay men, I would say, are like the highest percentage of men that you know, and if maybe that's like a vanity focus. I'm not too sure. I don't know. But like, I'm just saying, like, the men that I have dated who are heterosexual men have all been grubby as fuck.
Really?
Like, there's been 2, Noel and Nick.
Grubby.
No, clean.
Oh, clean.
Clean. Even Nick was a bit grubby. Anyways.
Okay. And grubby in the sense that like
a woman smells nice.
Okay.
There's no pheromones. There's nice pheromones. Just nice smelling pheromones. Not like stinky BO. Like they just went to the gym. I'm in my man-hating era.
Doesn't sound like it. No.
But yeah, I would say like that's one of the hygiene, the thoughtfulness, the acts of service. Like, let's be honest. Like, when I have period pain, there's just like a nice, comfortable knowing that Mia knows exactly what the fuck I'm going through.
Yeah.
Even if she doesn't experience it, she can kind of sympathize and understand. And she knows what to do in that, where a man doesn't. So he doesn't know. And if you even tell him like what you need, he still doesn't do it.
Okay.
Like, give me a fucking heat pack. Okay, this is a fault though. This is going the other way. So I've obviously gone one way with disliking the comparison of man to woman. But when I've been in previous women relationships, the emotions are really intense and really high. So sometimes the arguments or the conflict can be really intense. Yeah. So it can be like 0 to 100 like real quick.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's really good. It's passionate, but like the other times it's not good.
Yeah.
I haven't had that with Mia yet.
Okay.
Touch wood. So, but yeah, I think that's like a fault, not a fault, I guess, like, but like comparison to dating men. Like sometimes men are just like, I don't know, you give them grace. You're like, you don't understand. It's fine. Just get out. Just leave.
Okay.
Bye.
Yep.
All right, now your turn.
What am I supposed to do?
Well, this is not a very fair episode.
Well, I'm like, you want to compare men and women. I just don't have that comparison because I haven't been with women. So what I can say is that if you want a good in-between, I'll sell you a gay man. So
okay, sell me a gay man.
I think they have attributes of both. You know, the masculine side of things and the feminine side of things. And I think that
the best of both worlds.
The best of both worlds. You get the best, you know that song. So I had a friend who was an older friend, not in age, but not a friend anymore, past friend. And they were so like insecure about their identity, about being gay. And I remember being like, thinking to myself, like, are you kidding? Like, we are the best of both worlds. Like, I really feel like
you're literally Hannah Montana.
We are literally like the best thing that was ever made. Like,
literally.
No, but literally. I'm just going to jump on and tell you. No. I seriously feel like gay men are at the pinnacle of society.
Ooh, that's a big call.
It is. And I'm going to stand by it. I'm going to stand on my truth. No, but I know. Look, I just think that
you die on that hill.
When I say that, I don't mean the pinnacle of society and everyone's below us. I just feel like we've been given a little something extra, and it's like a little sprinkle of, you know, all the flavors of the world. Yes, queen. No,
I hate when people stereotype gay men. Like, because like, is there grubby men out? Like, is there grubby gay men out there?
Yeah.
Or are they closet homosexuals? Like, do you know what I mean?
I'm sure there are grubby gay men out there. Of course there are. You know.
List me the things of like why gay men are the best.
What do you mean? Why not?
Like, actually, like, prove your point. Give me facts. I want facts.
I'm going to give you facts. I said what I said. No. Okay. What I mean by that is that...
So you're clean.
Yeah, but that's like the bare minimum, girl. We got so much more.
So when you
say
feminine energy, like, what do you mean, like, gay men?
So emotionally intelligent, sensitive.
Okay.
We can... emotionally connect. We can connect with our emotions much easier, and it's probably...
Can you communicate them?
Yeah. Like in multiple languages.
Okay.
Like a stare, like...
You kill me. Okay.
And
Well, I would say, okay, this is an overgeneralization, but I think
I was just about to list all the things that gay men are great at.
Well, no, I was just going to say, like, queer people in general, I think are, like, not going to lie, pretty elitist. Like, we're the best. Because I think because as a minority and a minority group and in society, like, we've been oppressed, right? So there's history of, like, oppression and the fact that there's so much, like, history, like horrible history, and it has had, like, we've had to reclaim and, like, reassert ourselves, et cetera, et cetera. There's history. Like, I've only got 30 years of my life living in that. But, like, I think with that, when you are, like, a bit of, when you have been oppressed, even as a First Nations person, the feeling of, like, resistance, right? Yeah. And so I feel like that makes us so much more, look, I'm going to say less judgy, but I'm going to use that lightly. But I'm also going to say we are more inclusive, and I think we're more accepting.
Yeah, we are more accepting.
And I think as a society, like, if you put all the queer people in, like, in the world in one room, I can honestly say, like, comfortably, hand on heart, that I feel like it would be
turn into an orgy. Oh. The world record orgy.
You kill me.
You were so serious.
I was so serious. I was like,
you're like, put all the gay people in the world into one, and I'm like, orgy.
Like, hand on heart, like,
no, but look,
but for real, like, that's like Mardi Gras, like, but like 20 times over.
Yeah,
but
I just think you're so right. I think what you're spot on about is the fact that as a community, we've always had to fight and prove our identity and stand up for ourselves, and fight for who we are. So, like, there's this resilience that's built, and I think that as queer people, our lives have been a journey of always having to ask yourself questions about your identity, prove that externally to people. And then at some point, I feel like you get to a place where you're just like, fuck it. Like, I don't need to continue to, like, prove myself to anyone. I think that comes with being First Nations as well in this country. So I feel like, you know how I said gay people are, like, the best in society? I think that, like, the intersection of blackfellas and queer.
So that kind of takes me to my next. No, but that kind of takes me to my next point, right? Because, like, when I'm now being in a same-sex relationship, I feel so much more comfortable. Not that I ever did feeling like straight, because I was never straight. Obviously, like, being bi doesn't just go away. Yeah. But I felt like when I was in heteronormative relationships, I didn't always feel like the places and the things that I was doing in those relationships were always the most, like, accepting and like most, like, more comfortable, even though I have, like, all my queer friends, right? Yeah. And, like, when I hang out with them one-on-one, it's great. But when I hang out with them in my relationship, it kind of always feels like I am having to make my partner feel comfortable about being in that space where that kind of feels like work, right? Yeah. And I think that's probably a comparison that I didn't really like, being in a sort of heteronormative relationship. And I think, like, now being with Mia, I feel like all the spaces that I'm in, like, feel just easy. Like, I feel like I'm like, comfortable, and it's just like a breeze.
That's really nice.
Yeah, like it is. It's like I don't have to, like, prove myself. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not that I was or, like, have been. Like, people know that but every time I feel like I was in a, like, straight relationship or dating someone,
they would just deny your queerness.
They would just deny it. And I was think like, that it was
put on.
Yeah, and I get really upset about it. But I think that's the best thing about my current relationship, is that, like, I'm with a partner who hears, my day-to-day shit, is like, can listen and not judge. It's the best. And understands to a level that I've actually needed my whole life, whole life. Like, just someone to listen to, or, like, but have this, like, feeling like, oh, I feel understood. It's the best. But, like, yeah, I don't think I've really felt like that. I think other relationships have been pretty superficial and a bit like transactional, I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely feel like...
Also, I gained a whole new wardrobe. Being with a girl, you get a whole new wardrobe. Yeah. Do you get that as well with Denny? Do you guys share clothes?
One of us has bigger muscles.
Who is it?
Yeah, who is it? You tell me. No, jokes.
It's gone from comparing Maddie just being like, I'm the best.
No,
like,
I'm joking.
I'm elite.
We do share clothes, but specific clothes. Yeah, sometimes actually, and sex toys. No, I'm kidding. No, look, one thing that I like really admire about Denny, and I think that like sometimes in the gay community can be something that many people need to work on, but being judgmental, Denny's really not judgmental at all. You know, he's actually taught me to not judge and be more compassionate towards people, even people who have made mistakes in their lives. Like we watch documentaries and I'm always thinking like, that person needs to go to hell and jail forever. They're the worst person on the planet and I'm judging them hard. Denny's like, people can make mistakes in their lives, Matt, and this person now has to spend the rest of their time. There's consequences and they should, face the consequences, but you can still feel empathy for them. And I'm like, no.
I literally was talking about that this morning.
And so like he's taught me a lot about compassion and empathy, even though I thought I was a compassionate person. He's sort of brought this next level of that and has really assisted me with a relationship with my mum actually, you know. Like he's so compassionate towards my family dynamics as well. So I think being less judgmental is something that the gay community need to work on for sure.
I have a question on that. I mean, so like Danny's not like he's Australian citizen now.
Well, he has his citizenship test in like a week.
Okay. So Danny's not quite an Australian citizen yet. So his citizenship is coming up.
He doesn't have any Australian in him, but he has had it in him.
And then that is when you put up the kangaroo and the emu emoji. No, my question was
I'm naughty today. I'm a naughty little boy.
You're Delulu.
Yeah.
No, I was going to ask a really good question. Like in terms, because obviously you can't compare to women and men, but you can compare someone who is Australian / English speaking, where Danny English isn't his first language, right? Spanish is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, what's the difference between like dating someone where you're having to understand them on a different level of like language barriers, you know what I mean?
I think language, but also privilege. Like when you come from a country like Colombia where you don't have the support systems that our country have, and you can definitely see that to make it or to be successful, you have to work your fucking ass off. You don't have any backing. You know, if you fall to the ground, you're going to be on the street.
And you're getting paid fucking peanuts.
So for him to come here without a word of English, to work his for the last 6 years, create his business and be successful and still be a kind and empathetic person and show me that like empathy and compassion is paramount to his values. For me, it has cemented this level of respect that I have for him. Yeah. And that's at the foundation of our relationship. I really have learnt a lot from Denny over the last few years, like hanging out, being with him. So I think that the foundation of my relationship is respect for Denny.
Love
you know,
that.
And I think I haven't had that in the past. I think that I probably didn't respect my previous partner like I respect Denny.
Yeah, wow.
And so that's
huge.
That's something that has like definitely that I've come to know. That's the foundation.
Respect is a big like value. When people talk about values and you know what you need in a partner and in a relationship, like I go to like my top 3, which is like respect, honesty, and like truth, and I think there's like loyalty should come with all those things. If you're honest, you know, you're truthful. Like loyalty should come. So I don't really put that in my top 3, but respect is like my top 1.
Yeah,
and I feel like a lot of the again, not man hating, but like a lot of the men that I have dated haven't valued respect, like haven't understood what it's like to respect women in a level that I've needed in a way. Like, but the thing is also like I was challenging my brothers when I was in Perth.
Yeah.
He said something really like misogynistic and I blew up. I was like, how fucking dare you say something like that? Right?
Yeah,
and I was like, if my mum was sitting right there next to you, you would never say that. Like you wouldn't say something like that. And I'm like, we've fallen from the same tree, but how do I value something so strongly and I'm so passionate about it, but my brothers probably don't on that same level?
Well, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, Linda. Linda, listen. You've made 1,000,001 choices to create the life that you have now, which has enabled you to have all these other experiences, which has created the worldview that you have. Our families have a very specific and sometimes small-minded look at the world. You know, I noticed that with my own family. So it's like we went off and we had all these experiences that shaped us to think these certain ways to create this level of respect. And people who don't get outside their own environments are very narrow-minded, and that comes to their worldview and how they treat people too. So it's like, to them, that's not even for them, maybe that misogynistic mindset isn't a priority to change because they actually haven't experienced people who model that.
Yeah.
So
really.
in the communities that, you know, what they're in, maybe they don't get to see it differently. You know, that's how, because my brothers can be like that too.
I whip him into shape, and you know that. Like I go pretty hard on like things like that. But I also like think of my sister-in-laws who have put up with that bullshit behavior, and like.
Do your sisters voice that, or is that your view that you think you have? This is also my other
issue / like problem is like. Where is the self-confidence and I guess like self-value on them to speak up and like challenge that as well?
Is it a priority to them? Are they in that same mindset?
I don't know, but I just think like surely you have self-worth enough. And I mean, I wouldn't say it directly. Like I would privately say to her, like, don't ever let him speak to you like that ever again. And I'd be like, this is why. And if you are allowing it in your life, you're pretty much, you're not valuing yourself and your worth. What does it mean? Like, I just don't like when women like degrade themselves and like put them under people, like whoever you're dating, right? Like, I get really like, and any person, not to be fair, like not just women.
Do you think maybe, and this is just a question, because you're in and out of that environment, you can go, you can have your opinion, you can leave, you don't have to deal with it. She's in that environment 100% of the time. So she's going to continuously fight this and try and stand up for herself. Do you think it's safe? Or do you think that is like an uphill battle that she's just like, fuck that, too much for me?
I honestly think like imagine like the things that, you know, she is juggling day to day. Like it would be purely survival mode.
Yeah,
and it would be like, choose my battles.
Yep.
And I think that is motherhood. I think that like can be motherhood in a nutshell, is literally choosing your battles with your partner and with your kids.
Yeah.
And I feel for that. I sympathize with that. But at the same time,
there's so many women in that position.
Stop devaluing yourself. Like I can't deal with that. Like, not that I put myself on a high pedestal, but I 100% know, like, if someone is trying to make me feel like shit. My brother does it quite often, and I call him out for it all the time. Yeah. He will say shit like, you know, really petty things. Yeah. And I am like, but he thinks in his mind, this is where it's comparison to a man's brain and a woman's brain in some way, is that he thinks that is a love language. Like, he thinks that picking on me and like saying these like things to me, like petty things or like narky things, or
like a brotherly banter.
Yeah, it's like this brotherly love that like it's okay because like, you know, like innately like he loves me, but like he doesn't know, like I don't translate that the same. Like I actually, like, it affects me, it hurts my feelings, and I don't want to be spoken or talked to like that ever. Yeah. So, you know, like I had to pick him up on that. But like that's sometimes like it's like this whole mentality around men who like, it's like that teasing culture. Like if you've been mean to her, you like her. And it's like, no. Yeah. That should be nipped in the butt. One thing I was having this conversation with Mia the other day about what's happening in the playground is the use of like the words gay and homosexual. It's been used in the playground from like young kids as a derogatory term. Like it's not being like, oh no, like they're queer or they're gay. It's being like,
that's gay.
Yeah, run away and I'll catch you, and if you don't run away, catch you, you're gay. like you're stupid kind of saying. Like, and it's like
still happening.
Yeah, but we don't want them. Me and I were talking about how we don't want them to like stop using the terminologies or the words. It's just like providing a better context. But like, how are you meant to do that? That comes from parenting. And if my brother's like saying quite homophobic or like derogatory things or misogynistic things, what is his children going to grow up thinking?
Totally. They're a product of their environment.
Exactly.
That's why you
have to nip it in the butt.
Nip it in the bud, but show them the world. Show them the other side.
Anyways, I don't know how this got into this weird ass rant, but like...
I'm glad you had...
I actually really needed it.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. I feel lighter.
Great. That's good.
See, these are the battles that I think people don't understand that I have daily, like, you know, being this... I mean, I spoke about it on a post and like it had like 130,000 people like see it. And that's the highest my engagement's been in a while because it was me crying. And I think that's horrible. Like, why do people want to see me cry?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to see myself cry, but like they relate to
What made you post it?
I think because I just felt really alone in the process, and not like I felt alone, like I don't have a support network. Yeah. I just also like wanted like people who did feel like the same sort of feelings, and I know that there are, because like the amount of mob who messaged me saying this is me, like so many, like you have no idea. People that I thought like would never have those problems are in that same boat, and I was like, wow, like it was insane. And I knew that in some degree, but not to the amount that had messaged me, and I was like, this is crazy. And I just kind of I felt isolated, and I just wanted to like express like my feelings, and I was feeling frustrated and like overstimulated as well. So I was like, maybe if I like write my feelings or like voice how I'm feeling, maybe it will help. And it did.
Right.
But then like reading everyone's messages. Reading everyone's messages was the thing that like kind of got me through the day. But then my brother really fucking pissed me off that day as well.
What did they say about it?
Nothing.
They
saw my post that morning. I posted that afternoon, like 3:00 in the afternoon. I literally met them an hour later, and like none of them said something. If anything, my brother obviously read it, and my sister-in-law, but they mentioned like my brother, because obviously I mentioned like financial burden sometimes, because it is a financial burden. Like the amount of shit that I've had to pay for these fuckers. I love them, but like fuck me, like I mean the amount of times I've had to pay things. You know, and then like I said, you pay for bounce and I'll pay for lunch, and like it was a deal. And then it got to lunch and he was like, oh, I'll split you for lunch. And I was like, it's okay, like we made a promise, we made a deal, it's fine. And he was like, oh no, like I'll do it so then you don't have a hold a grudge. Like, why do you need to say stuff like that? I don't hold grudges. I actually have no grudge against anything financially. I'm just telling you, like, I feel sometimes the weight of it because you guys aren't appreciative. If you were just appreciative, it would be fine. So if you're listening, bucket, not kidding.
Do they listen to the pod?
They've never read my book. They don't listen to the podcast. They don't congratulate me on any fucking thing that I do in my life. They do absolutely fuck all. This is the reality. And people think, oh, I have a glamorous life or a bachelorette. Fuck off. I literally live like a lone wolf in Melbourne. And because when I do go back to Perth and I have to deal with their shit, it makes me want to move away. Yeah. Anyways, blah, blah, blah. Rant over.
That's all right.
This episode is going to be called Brooke Rant.
Brooke Rant. There you go.
I felt good. Thank you.
That's all right. I'll invoice you for $250.
First is like literally a therapy session, and I love it.
Yeah, that's
good. Thank you for holding space for me.
That's all right.
You are like the brother that I've actually always needed, so I appreciate that.
I'm
and you
here
always
to hold
check
space.
in. Yeah, you are.
Can I have your finger? I feel lighter as well. That's all we have time for today. But thanks for listening to First Things First. If you are dealing with any struggles and your mob, you can also reach out to 13 Yarn. Brooke did that during the week when she was having her, bit of a moment, and they helped her. So they're a good source for mob, and
they really are. Honestly, guys, like really mean it. I had like an hour chat with them, and it was great, and I loved it.
And if you're white, no, I'm kidding.
Guys, if you're not Indigenous, another resource is Lifeline, which is 13 11 14.
that's all we have time for today. Thanks so much for being so open about your story, Brooke, and sharing. I know that a lot of mob listening to this probably resonate with you. So, and thank you, mob, for listening to First Things First. If you love what you hear, leave us a rating and a little review. And if you want to reach out to 13 Yarn, you can. Their details and Lifeline's details are in the show notes.
Yeah. And if you want us to cover anything on the next episode, reach out via our socials. My handle's at Brooke.Blurton and Maddie's handle is at It's Maddie Mills. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Gotcha.